For decades, the ultimate symbol of success was a set of front door keys. The formula was simple. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, and let the property value build your retirement. In 1980, the average home cost roughly 3 times a median salary. Today it costs over 7 times as much. For Gen Z, the housing market feels like an exclusive club with a velvet rope they can never cross. And yet, despite being statistically locked out of real estate, Gen Z is quietly accumulating wealth faster than any generation before them at the same age. So how is the generation of lifelong renters getting rich? It sounds impossible until you realise they're entirely rewriting the rulebook. While older generations tied up their entire net worth in a pile of bricks, Gen Z is embracing the liquid life. They're utilising fractional investing, index funds and digital assets to build portfolios that travel with them. Instead of buying a house to live in, they rent for lifestyle and invest for cash flow. This is the era of the renter-investor. But to truly understand how renting transformed from a financial trap into a wealth-building superpower, we have to look at the exact moment the traditional American dream fundamentally broke. Before you can understand the opportunity, you need to understand the trap. The American starter home is sold as the foundation of financial life. What is often the first step toward being perpetually broke. When mortgage rates climbed from 3% in 2021 to over 6.5%, the monthly payment on a median-priced home jumped by more than $900, and the rate is only the beginning. Annual maintenance alone runs roughly $8,808 on average. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, and HOA fees stack on top of that. Research shows that once you fold in taxes, insurance, maintenance, and potential HOA fees, typical homeowners pay nearly $1,800 more per month than renters. Then comes the cruelest trick of all, interest front-loading. In the early years of a 30-year mortgage, the vast majority of every payment goes to the bank, not your equity. You spend years paying down almost nothing you actually own. The starter home is not a rung on the ladder. For millions of buyers right now, it is a financial anchor. Here is the sentence you have heard 1,000 times. Renting is throwing money away. It sounds logical. It feels true. It is not. Renting costs 38% less than home ownership on average, with the gap stretching to 191% in cities like San Francisco. Every dollar you spend on rent buys you something real: a roof, heat, water, freedom from a repair bill, and the right to leave. Nobody tells you that the interest you pay in the first decade of a mortgage is also thrown away, given straight to a lender, and never recovered. Property taxes, gone. HOA fees, gone. The $15,000 roof replacement you did not plan for, gone. The median monthly mortgage payment in mid-2025, assuming a 20% down payment on the median sale price, was $2,259. The median national rent over the same period sat around $1,712. That $547 monthly gap is not just a number. It is the seed capital of a completely different financial life. Renting is not losing. Renting is choosing where your money fights for you. If this is hitting different, hit subscribe. The numbers are about to get uncomfortable. So what do you do with that difference? The strategy is straightforward, and it is working. The S&P 500 has delivered 7.7% annualized returns in nominal terms since 2000, compared to 4.5 to 5% annual home price appreciation over the same period. A 25-year-old who would have put $60,000 into a down payment and instead roots it into a low-cost index fund and continues investing the monthly savings is not gambling. They are following a playbook that the data supports. JP Morgan found that the S&P 500 delivered an average total annual return of 16% between 2016 and 2025. Even accounting for volatile years, the trend is clear. The renter-investor is not waiting for life to begin. They're already compounding. Every month, the traditional buyer spends saving toward a down payment and paying interest front loads. The renter-investor is already in the market, already growing, already ahead. The gap does not close, it widens. Now take that strategy and add one more variable, and the picture becomes extraordinary. Remote workers who keep a San Francisco or New York salary while relocating to a city like Austin, Boise, or Raleigh can save between $1,500 and $3,000 per month, which translates to the equivalent of an $18,000 to $36,000 annual raise. No promotion required, no new skills to learn overnight. Just a laptop and a change of zip code. At least 41 countries now offer digital nomad or remote work visas, and destinations like Chiang Mai in Thailand report monthly living costs comfortably under $1,200. Latin America has gained serious ground, with Mexico City, Medellin, and Buenos Aires offering urban professional environments at significant cost discounts compared to Western cities. The person earning a San Francisco income and spending at a Medellin level is not just saving money, they are engineering a completely different wealth trajectory without ever needing a mortgage to do it. But here is where the story takes a turn that most people completely miss. What if you actually want real estate exposure? What if you want a piece of the property market without the liability of owning one? That option exists, and Gen Z is using it. Real estate investment trusts, REITs, let you own a fractional share of commercial properties, apartment complexes, warehouses, and data centers, all through a brokerage account you can open on your phone. REITs provided a dividend yield of roughly 4.1% in 2024, compared to 1.3% for the S&P 500. JP Morgan research projects REITs can deliver approximately 10% total returns going forward, combining dividend yields with earnings growth and valuation expansion. No leaky roofs, no tenant calls at midnight, no property tax bill arriving in January. You collect your share of rental income, you reinvest it, and you sleep well. The irony is real. The person who never owned a home can still benefit from rent increases, property appreciation, and real estate income, all while keeping their capital fully liquid. Liquid. That word matters more than most people realize. Renting is 38% cheaper than homeownership on average. But the deeper advantage is not the monthly savings. It is what you can do with the money you are not locking into drywall. A brokerage account can be converted to cash in roughly 3 business days. A house cannot. When a recession hits, when a job disappears, when an opportunity appears that requires capital quickly, the homeowner is trapped. Their net worth is sitting in an illiquid asset in a market that may have just fallen 20%. The renter investor reaches into a brokerage account and acts. The buyer who could afford a home in 2021 at 3% cannot afford that same home at 6.5% today, unless their income increased by roughly 40%. For most people under 40, it did not. Being able to move, pivot and act is not a soft benefit. In a volatile economy, it is a survival advantage. Let us put 2 25-year-olds side by side and run the decade. Alex buys the median-priced American home in 2026, putting down $80,000, locking in at 6.5% and folding in taxes, insurance and maintenance. Jordan rents for $1,712 per month, invests that same $80,000 into an index fund, and routes the $547 monthly savings from not owning into the market too. Home values appreciate at an average of 4.5 to 5% annually in nominal terms. The S&P 500 returns 7.7% annualized over the long term. 10 years in, Alex has built some equity, but a large portion of the early payments went to interest, and the maintenance costs have quietly eaten thousands each year. Jordan's brokerage account has been compounding uninterrupted, with no structural costs dragging on it. The math does not favour either person universally. It depends on the city, timing and discipline. But in a high-rate, high-price environment, the renter-investor holds a real structural edge, and that edge grows every year they stay consistent. The most powerful weapon in Jordan's portfolio is not the savings rate. It is time. The S&P 500 delivered an average total annual return of 16% between 2016 and 2025. Someone who starts investing at 22 instead of waiting until 32 to save a down payment is not just 10 years ahead. Due to compounding, they may be building a gap that never closes. The person who waits a decade to enter the market while saving for a mortgage does not just miss 10 years of returns. They miss 10 years of returns compounding on top of returns, compounding on top of returns. that $80,000 invested at 22, left alone at 8% annually for 40 years, does not become $400,000. It becomes nearly $1.74 million. Time is the asset no bank will sell you, and the one thing Gen Z still has in abundance. Here is what this is really about. The generation that got priced out of homeownership did not fold. They looked at a system that told them to spend a decade saving for a down payment on a 30-year mortgage, and they asked a different question. What if freedom is not a fixed address? The share of Americans who are both married and own a home at age 30 has collapsed from 52% in 1960 to just 12% in 2025. Gen Z did not cause that collapse. They inherited it, and the sharpest among them decided to build around it. A loaded brokerage account, a passport with stamps in it, a cost of living that shrinks by choice, not by circumstance. The white picket fence was never the dream. Financial freedom was always the dream. The fence was the only tool one generation had available to chase it. Gen Z found more tools, and they are using every single one. If this video challenged the way you think about wealth, share it with someone still saving for a down payment. And subscribe if you want more stories. The financial media moves too fast to tell properly.